Welcome, folks, to this week's webinar, Top Scheduling Tools. My name is Jake Vanskoy. You've been hearing the banter back and forth between myself and Amy Bemis. Amy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Thanks, Jake. Amy Bemis, like Jake said, I'm down here in Southwest Iowa. I was a high school counselor for a lot of years, so that's why I'm brought in on the scheduling piece of things. I am a client services specialist, kind of lead that team, co-lead the team, and then I'm also a trainer. So happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And
Mhm.
I'm Jake Vanskoy. I'm the head of training here at JMC. Excited to bring you today's presentation. I wasn't really big into scheduling. I didn't do much of the scheduling at any of the schools that I worked at. I was primarily a teacher, and then I did some front office staff stuff. But since joining JMC 4 or 5 years ago now, I've learned a lot about the scheduling tools and kind of how to schedule. And I don't want to say I'm a master, but I'm getting much, much better. So JMC offers several features and functionalities designed to simplify and optimize the scheduling process. Today, we'll take a look at some often overlooked or underutilized scheduling tools that address special circumstances which may arise, saving time and ensuring schedules efficiently meet the needs of both students and staff. So, just to kind of give you a high level view of what to expect out of the next month or so in JMC. February and even part of March is kind of all about scheduling for us. So we kick things off with this top scheduling tools webinar. Tomorrow we have a scheduling work session. So if you are kind of an old hat at scheduling, we know that as you start moving up your data from one year to the next, that's when guidance counselors and folks start to get kind of antsy on creating next year's schedule. So we're rolling out our resources to align with our client needs, and scheduling we feel is one of those needs that usually pops up February, March. So a couple more resources that you can keep an eye out for. We have a basic scheduling video coming out in March, along with an advanced scheduling video, and we're going to do it on the same day. It's going to be March 19th. We're going to do a morning session, 7:30 before you get to school, and then we've got an afternoon scheduling, which is the advanced stuff. The basic stuff is going to go through kind of everything that you would need to set up your school for scheduling and create basic courses. So many people, especially elementary folks, could probably just get by with the basics. When you start getting into the advanced scheduling tools, you start utilizing the scheduling aid and other master schedule building sort of tools. So high schools and even middle schools or elementaries with advanced scheduling needs might need to tune into both of those webinars. But we're hoping to put together a whole suite of resources that we're going to go over today and over the course of the next month that are really going to help you out with your scheduling process. So today we're going to just take a look at a few kind of a hand-picked tools that we really like, but we feel that maybe schools don't know as much about or maybe haven't utilized. So we're going to start with copying course rosters and student schedules. So as always, please utilize that Q&A feature. If you have any questions, we'll answer those as we go through our live looks and such. And we'll start with copying course rosters, so entire rosters of students. So certain scheduling situations may require you to copy or move a whole section of students into another section or course. Instead of transferring them one by one, JMC makes it quick and easy with the copy move students feature, saving you valuable time. Select a course or section from the current or prior year, and with just a few clicks, you can copy or move students into an entirely different section or course. To do this, you're going to go to Schedules, Develop, Move Students in JMC Office. So that's Schedules, Develop, Move Students. Step one, you're going to select the appropriate action from the action drop-down list to begin moving or copying students. So we got two different actions here. Move students to a different section just bulk transfers a group of students from one course section to another, removing them from the original section. So let's say you had kids that were in the third period course and they need to move to the sixth period course. You can just move all of those students. It's going to take them out of the one section and move them into the next section. The other action that we have is the copy students into another section, which allows you to bulk copy a group of students into a different course section while keeping them enrolled in the current section. So if you have groups of students that kind of hang together and might move from math to English to science all together, this could be a time saver for you. Rather than doing the bulk load, you could move students to a different section or copy students to a different section. Helpful tip, the copy students into another section action is a perfect time saver for scheduling students from a prior year's section. For example, last year's period 1 algebra into a course and section for the current year. For example, this year's period 3 algebra 2, eliminating the need to select students individually. And I think Amy's going to speak to this here during our live look. Step 2, you'll select a year if you're copying students and a course and a section from these 3 drop-down lists in the original section right up here. And then step 3, you're going to select a course and section from the destination section drop-down list to specify where these students will be copied or moved. Step 4, you'll click that prepare to move or copy button. And then you'll get a little notification that'll let you know these students are moving or being copied from this course or section into this course or section. If that looks the way you want it to look, you click that proceed button. If not, you click cancel, and JMC will alert you upon completing this task that a specific number of students' schedules have been updated. You simply click the OK button and it'll take you to back to the same screen. So back to the original screen, I should say. So let's take a live look at moving or copying students from a course, from one course or section to another. So this is under schedules, develop, move students. So schedules, develop, move students. Here I'm going to choose the action, and I'm actually in next year. So one of the things that you're going to probably note, especially if you're at this point in the year, you're probably preparing schedules for 25, 26. So if you haven't moved up your data yet, you'll probably want to move up your data before doing a whole bunch of scheduling. Obviously, you can't really do schedules for next year until you have next year available. So that's why you see this little blue instead of the purple, which would indicate that you're in this year. So move to that next year. And then we can choose to copy students from, say, last year's 24, 25. Let's go band.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one to do because you always have so many kids.
Absolutely. And we're going to go into this year's band. Maybe we know it's going to be period 2. So I click the prepare to move or copy. It's going to let me know. All right, I'm going to proceed. And I've updated schedules for 3 students. We have a small band. It's a 3-piece. It's more of a trio. So, yeah, Amy, anything to add about how you use this feature?
I think you hit it with things that where your kids move together, a lot like band and choir are great ones. I mean, obviously, you're not always going to have the exact same kids, but it's a whole lot easier to move them in this manner and then make your individual tweaks. Say I had a student who decided he wasn't going out for band the next year. So I could go to his schedule individually and move him. So much easier to work with 40 students at a time, than just moving them one by one or putting in those classes. When you talked about copying these students, I think about elementary schedules, middle school schedules, when you have those kids that move as a pack. I always describe them as that. So much easier to do things with a whole group. And so I think these features are super handy for saving time in those ways.
And that's an excellent point to make, because really what you're trying to do is you're trying to shave clicks. You're trying to shave clicks, which save time. So yeah, do what's best for the bulk of the students and then make those
Right.
individual adjustments down the road, because you can always go into a schedule student edit
Oh,
schedule page and then adjust an individual student schedule accordingly. So if you've got 5 kids that drop band out of a 40 kid band, you want to move all 40 of those kids and then just go into those 5 student schedules and adjust them accordingly. It's a huge time saver, especially if you have a few different courses that are like that. So,
Jake, Nicole
um,
has a question. Can you copy
sure.
a section from a school year, from this school year into a new year, or does it have to be the same year?
Yeah, absolutely. So if we go to, let's go to schedules, develop, move students. Again, I'm going to go back. You won't be able to move students from, say, that 24-25 to 25-26, but if you copy student rosters, it's going to give you that year drop down list. So if you notice, when I go to the move students, that year drop down list goes away. But when I choose copy students, now it's saying, oh, okay, you want to copy a student roster? We can copy a student roster from last year if you'd like. And then you can choose that last school year, which would be, if we're talking about scheduling for the 25-26 year, we're talking about going back to 24-25. So, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Otherwise, it looks good.
Well, there aren't
Hmm.
any other questions. We'll move right along. So that's great for copying entire groups of students. What about copying individual student schedules? Students in the same grade level or students with the same advisor often have the same schedules. When multiple students have the same schedule, use JMC's handy scheduling tool to save you time hand entering each course into every student's schedule. Simply copy a pre-built schedule from one student to another and quickly build a complete schedule for that student in just a few seconds. So this is done from the schedule student edit schedules page. So we're schedules, student edit schedules. And for those of you that are familiar with this page, but maybe not as familiar with this feature, this is where you would go to build an individual student schedule, kind of the slow way, if you will. You could easily build student schedules one at a time if you wanted to, if you have the time to do it. There are faster ways. We'll explore those faster ways in the basic scheduling and the advanced scheduling, but we really want to highlight this feature here. So we're going to find a student, and then we're going to click this quick link in the right hand side that says copy schedule from another student. So we click that quick link, and we're going to begin the process of copying a student schedule to the selected student. So this student right here, you notice there are no courses on this. I keep going back. Sorry. This course list. There's no, this student doesn't have a schedule. So we click this quick link. It's letting me know, hey, this student schedule is going to be copied from another student. Click the OK button in that notification box. Step 4, we will select the student whose schedule you'd like to copy to the selected student by entering their name or ID in the Find drop-down list. And step 5, you'll click that OK button to copy the student's schedule to the selected student. So you're copying from this student to this student right here. So let's take a live look at how this would work. And Amy, I'll let you kind of jump in with like when you would use this or when really handy
Hmm.
time to use this would be. So we're on the schedules student edit schedules page. And let's just say I have a student schedule built already, so let's go. I'm going to talk about, let's go third grader that's taking composition because they're
Very
advanced, or
gifted.
should have did a second grader. This second grader, I'll take it again.
All
All right, so
right.
here we go. So they've got second grade math. They've got second grade language arts. They've got second grade social studies or Phi-Ed. Okay, so we have a schedule built for this student right here. So we're going to copy, or we're going to find a student. So that's Jim. So we know Jim has a schedule built. I'm going to pull up another student that doesn't have a schedule built. I think I've already done this with second
Like
grade,
somebody
obviously.
bulk loaded with second grade.
I think I might have did that when I was testing. Here we go. All right, so yeah, here's our student from our example here. So Yep. My student here, I click the copy schedule from another student. It's going to let me know. I can choose my Jim Asith, whose schedule I just built. I click OK. And now all of the courses and sections are going to be added to this student's schedule. So, Amy, when would you use something like this?
Well, I was just kind of thinking about it, and Jake, you and I had talked about this earlier. Great for elementary. Say that I am in Mr. Freed's class, or I have a student in Mr. Freed's class. Let me back up. Going into Mr. Freed's class, my brain was working faster than my mouth was. So I want to add a student. I can use the same schedule because Mr. Freed's students all have the same schedules. So I don't need to go through and manually enter every single class for that one student. So that's, I mean, huge time saver there. Plus accuracy. I feel like when you're doing your individual clicks, I know from a lot of personal experience, you can click on the wrong class and then your schedule's a little funky. And so copying and just getting that exact same schedule works out great. Would it work very often in high school? Probably not, but middle school, good chance. If you've got your students in A, B sections, they always travel with their A cohorts, their B cohorts. You could copy that way too, but elementary, I think it's probably a good share of the time it could be done.
Yeah,
And again, you can
another.
tweak.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So if you have, for the most part, the same, but maybe one or
Right.
two different courses, yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
The other instance I would see this as being really helpful is you have a move-in mid-year,
Hmm.
and we still have a chance to have a couple kids move in or whatever. We have a kid move into third grade, and we know that little Jimmy who just moved in, their schedule is going to be exactly the same as this other third grader. Rather than building Jimmy's schedule by hand, we can come in and just copy that student's schedule from another third grader. And that'll help you build that schedule kind of on the fly. You can just do it in a few seconds. So, a couple of utilities for that copy schedule from another student uh, feature. But does anybody have any questions? You seeing any questions come through?
I'm not, but Jake, will you go back to that live look for just a second?
Yep.
I think quick links. I mean, we talk about it quite a bit, but again, that copying student schedule from another student is a quick link. The quick links are so helpful and
Yeah.
they're so relevant to what you're doing on that page. I think they get overlooked sometimes, but I think they're worth mentioning.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep an eye on the quick links section. I know this,
Mhm.
not to get off into a tangent, but student section details and overrides is another quick link that gets used frequently, or we often point folks to if a student maybe didn't earn all of the credit or didn't finish out the course, but they earned partial credit. You can assign partial credit for a course using that student section details and overrides. But
Yeah.
a different
And
webinar for a different day.
yeah, emailing all teachers. I was just going to say that too. That's a great feature on that page. I used to go through individual schedules and look up each teacher. That was not very timely.
So this is oh
And
yeah,
yeah,
email all teachers of this student. Yeah,
so
that
slick.
is sweet. Awesome. All right, so let's get into managing study halls. This is kind of putting the finishing touches on a schedule here. Assigning rooms for study halls helps ensure students know exactly where to go when they aren't scheduled for a course. These assignments appear directly on printed schedules and in JMC Student, reducing confusion. Easily update study hall room assignments by grade level, term, and period to streamline scheduling communication. By integrating study hall locations into JMC's automated scheduling process, you can eliminate manual communication and prevent students from wandering the halls. To add study hall locations, log into JMC Office and go to Schedules, Study, Edit Data. So Schedules, Study, Edit Data. Step one, you'll place a check mark in the Allow Changes checkbox to make changes to the days and periods table. Step two, you'll select a grade level from the grade drop-down list to assign study hall locations for a specific grade. Step three, you'll select a term from the term drop-down list to assign study hall room or a study hall room from the selected term. Step 4, you'll select the location for the room dropped from the room drop down list. And then step 5, you'll click the box in the days/periods table to assign the selected room to the days and periods the study hall meets. Fun fact, changes to study hall locations are highlighted to help you identify recent updates to your days and periods table. Step 6, you'll click that Save Changes button to save the study hall room locations. And step 7, you'll repeat this process as needed to ensure that all grade levels are scheduled into the correct study hall locations. So let's take a live look at this interesting feature. And, to be honest, this was something that was a little bit new to many of us, but after kind of going through this, I really started to see the utility. So just kind of how scheduling works in general at JMC. If a student is not scheduled into a course, and we're pretty much talking mostly high school here at this point, you have an 8-period day, and let's say a student isn't, they don't have a class for period 7. JMC will automatically put that student on a study hall list. So you can see from your study hall list, all right, let's just go period 7. See what students would be in period 7. Okay, here are all of my students that don't have a course in period 7. So these kids would be in study hall. But now these kids, we need to communicate to them, where do you go for that study hall? So if we go to schedules, study, edit data, for, let's say, and a lot of schools might have a different study hall for their freshmen and sophomores than they do for their juniors and seniors, which is why we allow it to be changed by grade. But let's just say we're going to start with our freshmen, and we want to communicate to our freshmen in first quarter that if you are in 7th period study hall, you go to room 110. Now I can go down here to 7th period, and you're going to do this every day. You're just going to click, bang, 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 and they're all going to turn green on you, letting you know that we have changed the location for 9th graders to room 110. And now room 110, rather than appearing on their schedule, their printed student schedule is just a study hall with no location, it's going to actually tell them where to go. And the schools that I've worked at, this is always kind of a finishing touch on schedules, because once we get students scheduled into the courses that they're going to be taking, and we have our schedule, or we have our study halls, we have to try to figure out which teachers are observing those study halls, or which teachers are going to be responsible. Some schools are like, oh, study halls always in the library. We always have this person that's keeping track of study halls. Other schools, they might assign teachers to study halls based on their course availability or their schedule availability. So depending on your school situation, you may or may not have to use this, but rather than maybe posting on that front office wall there where the special locations
Yep.
are, and having all of your kids flood the office to see where they go during 7th period, you can kind of communicate that right on their schedule by selecting, where do our 9th graders go. Now I'd have to do that for each grade level. So I'm going to save my changes. Now we're going to do the same thing for 10th grade. And we're going to say, you know what, all my 10th graders are going to go to room 10 as well for 7th period. We might have situations, I know this gets kind of funky, especially when we have odd or even study hall schedules. So let's say we have PE on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we have study hall Tuesday, Thursday. Well, Tuesday, that, our 11th grade study hall might be in room 112, 2nd period, but it might be in room 145 on day 4 for 2nd period. So we actually go down to the granularity of, depending on the day of the week the course is scheduled for, you can actually change the location based on day too. So kind of a
And then
cool
those are
feature.
all, they all show on their schedules. They're all printed out. Those, Tuesdays in this room, Thursdays in this room. So students have no excuse for not knowing where they're supposed to be.
Oh, they'll have plenty of
Well,
excuses.
except they can't find their schedule because they lost it somewhere. But aside from that,
Well, log into JMC and you can find it. We
Right.
always have the answers, right?
We do. So Bob wants to know what the study hall assignment looks like on the student's schedule.
Oh, that's a good question, Bob. So, this might take me just a minute to set this up,
Set up a
but
student.
let's go back into last year because then I know we'll have full schedules done. So let's go to
Mhm.
schedules, student, edit schedules. And all right, so this student, they have second, they've got a bunch of second period classes. So I'm going to find 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, perfect. So this student should have a study hall fifth period. So Lewis Cameron,
A
write that
ninth
name down.
grader in fifth period.
So I'm going to make my fifth period course, ninth grader, fifth period. Cool. Let's go to schedules, study, edit data. Ninth graders, and we're going to say fifth period is going to go to the gym. Oops, got to allow changes. We must only have day 3 available. Whoops, gym.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, so save changes. Okay. Now I need to go to my view student data page. Lewis Cameron, need to need to log into the student site here. I go to JMC student. I grab his username, password. Oops, grabbed his username, just not his password. Grab his password. Now we're going to go to our schedule. You can see, where is it? Gosh, it would appear right. Should be up here right after this. I wonder if
Hmm.
we have to schedule the student into a study hall first.
Or could we just show Jake through just even um like print schedules or
Yeah, I got to
if you
find somebody. Yeah, I suppose I can do that too, couldn't I?
maybe let's try printing a schedule and see what his looks like from here.
Yeah, I got to find a kid that's on a study hall list first. Let's make sure. All right, here we go. So Jessica, let's go here. Period 1. Luke, Amber, or do we have anybody that's in fifth period?
Yeah, let's look and see if the one you entered showed up in fifth.
4, 5.
Okay, so
And Lewis Cameron. Yeah, Lewis Cameron's on there. All right.
I wonder if we just, yeah, try printing his schedule and then see what it looks like.
Schedule. Let's go by random. Food study halls there.
So there it shows the gym down there under fifth period.
Yeah, there we go. So yep, it would show up on the printed schedule next to the study hall list right there. And I would imagine that would look the same. I'm wondering if there's a little bit different view for the student schedule and the study
Hmm.
and regarding study halls. So
Right.
I'd have to do a little bit more tinkering around with that to figure out if there's a setting that would allow study halls to show up on student schedules. Maybe on the view schedules or on the online settings page. Let's go student access. Yeah, I'm not really sure if it's going to show it or not, but it'll show up on printed schedules for sure. But any
So
other
then
question?
he
Yeah.
also asked, can you also show what the study hall student schedule looks like on the admin schedule view? So that's what I think that's what you mean, Bob, what we just did.
Yeah, so I think the admin view, you're going to see it on if I go to schedules study lists.
Yeah.
Now I can decide, all right, what period am I looking for? If I want to look for fifth period, um, maybe I just want to look high school, 9 through 12 for first quarter. I can preview and it's going to show me the list of students. It's going to show me the location of the study hall again there. We got it in the gym. It's fifth period, and then it's going to give me the names of the students that are in that study hall.
Those were the lists I always printed out and gave them to the study hall supervisor, and then they always went, it
Yeah, and
was,
then we try to draw lines through it and say, I don't want
uh,
that one. I don't want that
I
one.
know. I would just hand it and be like, here you go. Sorry, bye. Then he asked, does it show on the student schedule? Yep, that location would show on the student schedule.
Right. Any other questions?
I am not seeing any right now.
All right, sweet. All right. What if we need to start over from scratch here? Last one. Sometimes mistakes happen. It's easiest to start over fresh, but how can schedulers remove students from courses quickly and efficiently? The drop courses feature in JMC Office gives schedulers a quick and easy way to remove all students who've been scheduled into selected courses with the click of a button. Simply select the course or courses you'd like to clear, click the drop button, and you've got a clean slate. Easy peasy. So to begin clearing course rosters, log into JMC Office, head to Schedules, Course, Drop Courses. Step 1, click a course name in the Select Course box to add it to that selected courses box over here. To select multiple courses, you can hold Control if you're on a Windows machine, or hold Command while you click on a Mac, and that'll allow you to select multiple courses. Step 2, you'll click the drop button to remove all registered and or scheduled students from the selected course. Fun fact, the number of courses affected by the drop action will be displayed, confirming that the process is complete, and it's as simple as that. So let's take a live look at dropping entire rosters from courses, along with a common scenario for why you might have to use this. So many of you, especially if you've been scheduling in JMC quite a while, know about this bulk load feature. So if I go to Schedules, Develop Bulk Load Courses, actually I'm going to start with my course list, and I'm going to get into the new school year. So I'm just going to look for, let's see here, courses that don't have any students enrolled here. So let's go first grade math. First grade math Smith. All right. Here's a common scenario. I'm going to bulk load courses. I'm going to go first grade math Smith. I thought that was, let's go, I'll go course 10.
I was gonna
First
say, I
grade.
guess we should have noticed the course number, huh?
Yep. Could have probably.
I didn't pay any attention.
Okay. So I'm going to bulk load all my first graders into Johnson's handwriting. Okay. So there I did it. All right. Well, did I do it? I don't know. So I'm going to do it. Well, no. Did that
You did it.
happen? Did they load? Did they load? Did they? I don't
It
know if they
says they
loaded.
did.
Says they did, but I just kept loading. You know what? I loaded them over and over and over and over again. So now when
Oh,
I go to
goodness.
the course data list, and let's take a look at course, my handwriting course. Where are we?
You down there, number 11.
Course number 11. There we go. Okay, I have 20 students in there. All right, well, that's correct somehow. Wonder if normally if I click that button 4 times, it's going to load it 4 times. But let's try it again. I'm going to try to bulk load multiple times. Okay, let's see if that did it. There should be 40 students in that class now. Should have been 60 students in that class.
This is how real world scheduling goes, Jake. I mean, it's truly like,
Yeah,
I thought I did this. No, I didn't do this. Wait a minute.
absolutely. Didn't allow me to bulk load multiple times. Maybe that's something that we took care of and said, all right, yeah, you can't load the same class multiple times. But All right, let's just say I didn't want those 20 students in there. I accidentally bulk loaded
Right.
second graders in there twice. Okay. So now I can go to drop courses. I grab course 11. I'm going to drop course 11. It's going to let me know, hey, student schedules have been modified for one course there. Now I can go back to my course data list, preview, look at course 11, and now I've started over with a clean slate. So I've got 0 out of 0 on there. So, yeah, that the bulk load feature. I wonder if we
I wonder
if
if
they
we're, yeah,
worked a little magic and
I
decided
wonder.
no, you can't load 60 students into the course. That is something that we've seen quite often. However, there are more utilities for dropping courses. Let's say, you accidentally loaded all your second graders into a first grade course, or you loaded all first graders into Smith's section and they should have been in Johnson's section. You can drop them out of Smith's section and load them into Johnson's section, and so on and so forth. So, any questions about the drop courses feature?
I don't see any questions. No.
All right.
I
Well,
have to
nearing the
admit,
end.
Jake, that was a feature I didn't know about.
Oh, the drop courses.
No.
Yeah, I use that quite a bit, especially with elementary scheduling, just because
Yeah.
you're using bulk load and things like that, and students get into the wrong place, and sometimes
Oh,
like
yeah.
what, I have new courses, I want to start over from scratch or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, that is much more efficient than printing out a class list and putting that next to the computer and unchecking students. I mean, not that I know anyone who ever had to do that, but yeah, this seems easier.
All right, let's take a look at some JMC news and upcoming events. Upcoming webinar schedule. We have that 25-26 scheduling work session set up for tomorrow. Bring your questions to that. Hopefully, if you've started your scheduling process and you've got some, how do I use this? How do I do that sort of thing? We're going to go through kind of high level each of the basic scheduling pieces that you would use and answer your questions from there. For our Minnesota folks, we have a MCCC EdFi work session on the 19th, followed by the importance of state reporting support on the 26th of February. And in March, the start of March, we've got, and in case you missed it, goodbye paper shuffle, hello new family enrollment portal for those of you that want to see the new FAM enrollment portal in action. Should be released the 28th of February. So if you see that in its newest form and you want to see like, oh, what's this all about? Tune into that March 5th webinar. As mentioned earlier, JMC is here to tackle one of your biggest end of year to-dos, moving your data and students up a grade level. But first, we'll need a few details from you via our move up form, including any JMC tools you'd like to add to the mix, like our empowering community messenger portal. Ready, set, move up your data today to lock in student scheduling and JMC success. Refer a friend, get a $1,000 scholarship. That's right. Now through March, for every school you refer to JMC that signs up for our software, we'll give you each a $1,000 scholarship for your district. To top it off, our team will throw you a pizza party for your front office staff. If you have questions, reach out to sales@jmcinc.com. For Amy Bemis, I'm Jake Vanskoy. Thank you for joining us for this webinar. Keep an eye out for some more scheduling resources coming soon, especially tomorrow, and we will catch you all on the flip side.